Hey, hello scrappers. If I get a quick video, this is the first load I've hauled off out of from that big job that I got a video, shot a video of last week. I got these 4 furnaces and the little condenser unit, and then this one here's got just basically an A-frame, copper aluminum coils in there, copper brass on top. And then I loaded up this, all pretty much heavy steel. There's a few pieces in there that aren't super heavy, but I could have loaded a lot more if I had more time, but it was hot, and I knew I needed to get loaded. It's 8 o'clock right now. I need to get this, unload the trailer, and I'm going to take this one in after work tomorrow. Yeah, I'm tired, I'm winded. Spent the day cutting up a bunch of fence pipe. Maybe you can see it on there. I got some fencing on top. I'm going to try to run the fencing to the auction. But the fence pipe's almost up to the top of the side rails on that thing. So I thought, oh, I'm just going to leave it on there, and I'll take that load in Saturday morning. So I got to go pick some stuff up tomorrow night, and I'll use my utility trailer for it. Well, not tomorrow night. I'll be taking this in. It'll be Tuesday night. I'll go up and do that. So I'm going to offload those over here by the refrigerators, I think. I'm running out of room up here. I'm going to start putting stuff in the field the rest of this month and probably next month. But I still got a little bit of room over there. But Standard Iron, they're open till 5 tomorrow. I get off at 3:20. Metal Check closes early, and they pay. Unfortunately, they're like Metal Check. They pay the same for shred as they do for short iron. So I thought, well, I'm not going to cut none of this up. So most of these pipes are 4 foot long, and around here they like short iron being 3 foot. And I loaded a bunch of little stuff here in the back. Like I said, I would have liked to load it a lot more, but I was having to pack it a little ways, so couldn't carry a whole lot at a time, so it would have taken maybe another hour to finish loading this. I got to work on getting some stuff out of the way. So it's going to be an ongoing job. I'm going to try to get over there this next weekend with my rotary hammer and bust up all that cement on those other poles and bring them home. So I'll take my generator and rotary hammer, couple extension cords probably, try to bust all that up and load the cement, bring it home, throw it here in the washout. But the question is, what does this weigh and what's it going to pay? Last I heard they were at $140 a ton. I was hoping I had a ton in here, but I don't know. It's kind of squatting a little bit. It's a 3/4 ton truck, so I may be half, 3/4, maybe a ton. It's all pretty heavy stuff. Yeah, here I got a couple bigger pipes, so I got to shove the little one inside. So, might pay pretty good. I'm hoping so. Hoping to get a good payday on that. What's on that trailer too. I thought I don't want to have to unload it and load it back up. So, I'll take it as is. When I get my dump trailer, I got 2 rear ends over here that I'll throw on there. Plus, I got a whole bunch of engine blocks over there. So that's some of the first stuff would probably go in the dump trailer. Unless I take it over to this job and load up a bunch of stuff. So I can probably take it over there, load up stuff for 2-3 hours and bring it home and take it back over there another 2-3 hours. But I'm going to get off of here and we're going to get this trailer unloaded, and then I'm going to get in and eat and then hit the shower. So the question is for tomorrow is, what does it weigh? What will it pay? You know, doesn't look anything exciting. I'm going to take it down to standard too, so that's the noisy yard. So if you're watching this on your cell phone with your headphones in, be ready to turn it down. I'm going to try to remember to record driving in as I drive, you know, from the scales onto the back, so you'll have a little time to get your volume down. So we'll see you tomorrow. Hello, scrappers. Back again. Well, I didn't have to go all the way to the back to unload. They said just pass the red building and first magnet. And it had still $7 a hundred. I think I got 150, 155.40, something like that. I had 2,220 pounds on that. I was thinking I was around a ton, but I wasn't quite sure if I had a ton, but I knew this truck was squatting. So that's a nice little payday anyway. Got $155.40. It took me a couple hours to load it. I think about an hour and a half to load it. Probably got there about 5:30, and by 7 o'clock I quit loading this and went over and loaded up those furnaces and stuff. So then about an hour to drive down here and get back to where I would be. So about 3 hours and made 220 bucks. So it's a good 50 bucks an hour. Can't complain. I asked him what he thought of the price forecast, and he said going down. So I don't know. I told him, well, I got 5 acres. I can sit on it for a little while if I have to. But I'd like it to stay where it's at or a little higher. That way I can keep moving it. Keep gas money for this beast. But I should have enough gas money now to get me through about 3 weeks. So hey, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, like it, share it with your friends, and if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. And this is Standard Iron and Metal here in Oklahoma City off of Reno, for those of you that are familiar with the area. So we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Hey, hello scrappers. In that video here a little bit ago, I decided to experiment to see if I could get this furnace hot enough with my waste oil burner to melt brass. Yeah, it got hot enough to melt brass. The ingots didn't come out as good as I thought they would, but I just need practice. Of course, you know, that was my first try. I'm not sure how well you can see these. Don't have the best lighting in here. They looked really terrible until I took them to the wire wheel on the bench grinder. They come out looking a little better. But one thing, I think I had a lot of borax in there. I should have skimmed off the top before I started pouring. Another problem I had was the graphite molds. The sides were straight up and down, but you can see the curvature to that one is probably mainly due to the borax. There's so much flux on there, way too much. But one of the problems though is it not only melted the brass, but I melted a lot of the bottom. Let me put this in the tripod. Melted a lot of the bottom of the furnace. So I'm gonna open this furnace up. So as you can see, bumping into my poles and everything else, pole holding the shade cloth, you can kind of see the black area where some of the fire is escaping around the edge. And then you can see where I had the crucible sitting right here in the center, but it definitely melted that out. So I've got a little bit of this factory cement left. It's good for 2,000 degrees. Not really as hot as I'd like, but Yeah, I'm not sure if how good it is. I'm gonna try it. Some of that looks like it's just gelled down in there. Yeah, or maybe I'll just throw this out and just go ahead and order some other stuff I saw online that was good for like 3,000 degrees. But I thought about taking that and just filling those in. And then I want to get some kale wool or some other insulation wool or something that they've got. And I wanted to cut a piece big enough to just cover that. And then when I set the top piece on there, it would make a good seal there. And I wanted to put it around the inside of this. See, even up here towards the top, this stuff's just flaking off. Of course, now here I used perlite and Portland cement. So then as you can see here, when it dried, you know, it dropped down some too, so I got a big gap here. So I was thinking I could use that kale wool insulation around the top just to make a better seal at the top. Plus I'm running a small crucible, so I got a lot of room around the side, so it wouldn't hurt to go another inch thick with insulation around there. It wouldn't hurt that at all. So that's my dilemma on this. So for those guys that want to make something like this, because people have been asking me how I made it, well, now you can kind of see. I cut, originally when making it, I cut the bottom here like that, which I made a little notch in the side so it'll line up here. Did the same thing in the top, but I basically made my perlite Portland cement mixture, poured it in there, got it nice and level, let it dry, set up. Then I put a piece of plastic around it, and then I put this piece down over the top of it. Went to Home Depot and got a cardboard tube, you know, which it stood up quite a bit higher than that, and ran my pipe into it, and then put a brick on top of the tube, and then I poured my perlite and cement mixture in for that part. The top I don't really quite remember. It seemed like I just had it upside down and put a coffee can in there and then poured it. Then afterwards I cut coffee can down, and so yeah, I think I've had this since last year. I think I went through the winter and it froze several times, so it's probably not any good anyway. So I'll probably just toss it out, and I'll go ahead and order some online, because it'll probably be a little bit. I'll need to probably try to do some melting in the melting pot a little bit, but I might try to get some good high temperature adhesive too, and I may put some kale wool around the inside of that to insulate it a little better. I still have the other half of that tank that I cut that out of, so I'm thinking about cutting the end off where it'll fit down on this, try to insulate it too, and have a good lid to put over, maybe hold the heat in better. But I know it got over 1700 degrees to melt the brass. It's just it kind of melting the furnace too. Of course, then on the other hand, I say, okay, should I put the money into repairing this, or should I just take a propane bottle and make a small one? You know, because I don't need anything that tall for sure. Actually, anybody doing one, that thing there is probably a good 18 inches at least tall. Yeah, let me step in here and grab a tape measure. Let's measure that. I don't know if I got one back here. If I have to go all the way to the front of the shop. Oops, kick the cat. Sorry, Mitch. What happens when you're watching the camera and not watching the where you're going. I'm going to try to do some cleanup and straightening up in here this winter, and maybe put a dividing wall up, make it easier to heat the work area. Okay, try to do this with one hand. Yeah, it's actually about 16 inches. You know, what do you probably need for a crucible? 10 inches maybe? So, about 8 inches too much. So yeah, that could have probably been cut about in half. And the crucibles I'm using, they're number 3s, 4 kilogram, and they're roughly 6 inches. Then I got this other one, it's a number 4, 6 kilogram. It's 7 inches. So yeah, if you made it like 8 inches, 8 or even 10 inches tall, that'd be plenty of height. So that, yeah, that's 8 inches you could cut off of there easy. So yeah, you wouldn't have to make it near that big. Okay, well, I just kind of want to give a quick update on that furnace. There's people that wanted to know how I built it. And if you're curious about the oil burner, I do have a playlist for the oil burner and melting metal. And I think the first video in there I kind of show how I built the burner. And there's a link in the description on where to get the siphon nozzle. Plus I have a siphon nozzle from Amazon listed on my affiliate page. I haven't purchased that one, I haven't tried it out, so I can't really speak for it, but I imagine it would probably be good. And I'm thinking about packing all this up right here and trying to move it right around the corner here, get all this brush cut down here, these weeds, and then run that shade cloth off the greenhouse there. This area stays kind of shaded anyway. That would give me room to do something more out here. But the apple tree is starting to look pretty good, getting a lot of apples on there. I probably should have sprayed it again. I got Red Delicious in this tree, and I don't remember what variety this is, but it's looking pretty good, loaded down. And I like the flavor on this one. That one there, I think it's got cedar rust. It's got a lot of apples on it, but it's got spots on the leaves. I believe it's cedar rust, but I got a lot of cedars growing out here. Neighbor's got one right over there, and there's a couple little ones on the fence line I need to cut out of there this winter if I get a chance. As soon as I remove that short iron pile out of there, definitely cut it out. And he's got another big cedar over there, and you know, there's three, at least 5 big ones right there on his property. Okay, so I just wanted to, I was going to go ahead and put a coat on that, but since the cement's not really any good, I'll just hold off on that, and I'll go ahead and order some online, and when it comes in I'll take care of that. So I'm going to go ahead and put this back together, and I just have that metal lid and some of them cupcake ingots on there, weight it down. Figure each one's a ½ pound, so there's 3½ pounds. Okay, so I'll probably add a update on this thing once I get it where I want it to be. So we'll see you in the later part of this one. Bye. So I'll do a little update on the furnace repair. While I had the side on it, I kind of took a Sharpie and made a little line so I know about where the side sits. I put a little bit of refractory cement down in there. This stuff's pretty, the stuff I got today's hardware was real thick, where this is pretty thin, and I think I like the thin stuff a little better. It's easier to work with. I just pushed on this. I put this on last night, and it's still kind of soft and stuff in the middle. It's getting pretty hard on the edge. Of course, I had the shop closed up, so I got the doors open now where air can blow through here. That might help it set up better. But tonight, when I come in, I may
Or I might put it, just to put another coat on there, build it up. But I'd like to kind of take the chisel and kind of go around my line and chisel a little bit of this out, just slightly, maybe 1/4 inch. And this refractory here is supposed to be good for 3,000 degrees. It's not runny, but it's yeah, real thin. It's not real, real thick. Then once I get that up and leveled, get ready to use, I might try to get some kale wool or something to cut a piece that'll fit across there. And then when I put the side on, it'll press down on this and maybe seal this up to where that'll be pretty airtight and heat won't be escaping there. It'll have to come out the top. That's a thought anyway. And what I may do, I may just cut a strip, get some high temperature glue and glue it on. Try that. That's just a thought anyway. So that's where I'm at on the furnace. Glad it got hot enough to melt the brass, but like I said, also melted the perlite in the cement here. So kind of got a glaze there. So I was kind of surprised it got that hot. And you can see where the crucible was sitting, but even spots on the far side because the burner is coming in right here. So live and learn, right? So if I make another one, and I might, I may do a little different, I'm not sure. Refractory is working good, but I wouldn't want to spend a whole lot of money. But what I could do this Portland cement, really, and fill it up so far, and then go with an inch or two of refractory, something like that. Or I could get a couple bricks, fire bricks, set them down in there, put the kale wool around, and then put some refractory over the kale wool, right up level with the top of the bricks. That might work also. That way it's not costing a fortune. I'll probably also go with a something smaller. Or if I go that size, I'll cut it down a whole lot because I didn't need the height. It's a lot taller than what I needed. But I'll repair this one for now, and if it keeps working good, I'll keep using it. Someone said, I'll get rid of that little rust bucket, but there's a little rust on there, but it's been out in the weather for 2 years. But it's really solid. So, but yeah, I got some propane bottles. I could make one out of a propane bottle, a small one. I'm not going to use that big of a crucible anyway, and I got really too big of a diameter here, the crucible. So I thought even on the side come in with about 1 inch of kale wool, just to give it added insulation. Not that it needs it, but yeah, a little more can't hurt. Might help. Anyway, I'm going to get off here and I'll pick it up on the next once I get a little more done to it.
Well, we got the refractory on there. Feels good and hard. Now I'll have to put the furnace together and put the burner in there and let the propane run for a while and get it good and hot. But probably just propane. Probably don't need to really put much more with it than that. I'm still got kind of a low spot in the center, but I don't think it's too bad. As long as the crucible sits pretty good. I'll have to kind of figure out right about where center is and set the crucible on it and see how it feels. If it feels a little rocky, I'll probably add some more. And I believe I still got, got quite a bit of refractory there. So if I need it for another job, I got it. So I may try to get that together, get it heated up, and I got another crucible. I'll probably try to get it seasoned, and maybe Sunday try to do a melt, see if I can melt copper in this thing. I want to get some kale wool. Like I said, if I can put a piece of fire brick down here. Of course, I think one issue I have, I think when I made my burner tube, I think it's too low. I think I needed it up another inch or two. So that might be reason enough to build another one. And I'm thinking I got some old 20-pound propane bottles. They've already removed the valves, flushed them with water. So I might cut one of them open and make a little furnace out of one of them. And the flame would stay in a little smaller area. Get some kale wool and whatnot. So the next few weeks I'm going to try to start gathering supplies for that. And then we'll see what we got. So hey, if you guys enjoyed this video on this rebuild, kind of doing this repair, then give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, take a look around the channel, see what you think. Hopefully I can earn your subscription. So we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.